contain adult slash harsh language, partial nudity, and a bunch of other things we can think of. Viewer discretion is advised. What's up, everyone? This is your boy, Black Joker 46, sitting alongside his Robin at the moment, Darkseid.
Hey, don't call me your damn Robin.
You are. I'm fucking Batman. I even got the fucking keychain.
So do I.
Mine's older. And now we're here to talk about the same thing we talk about every night. How to take over the world. Just kidding, we're here to talk Pokemon. So, we're going to jump right into it. We're going to talk about Ash's underdogs. Then we're going to talk about the Pokemon in general. We're going to talk about the gym leaders and how well he did at the Elite Four. Along with basically our expectations of what we really expected for that season. But, you know, let's get right into it. We don't have that much time to waste. I'm trying to get this one under an hour. So, Darkseid, gym leader-wise, what did you think? Because we had Rourke, Gardenia, Maylene, Crasher Wake, Fantina, Rourke's dad, Candace, and Volkner for this season.
Well, they ended up bringing in some new gym leaders. They kept some of the old ones. They could have done more. But
that I can agree on.
Going to do that.
Of course they could have done better, but you know, they're aiming towards the kids audience, and this is about the time Pokemon is actually starting to go more towards a kids audience, trying to make it more kid friendly, because if you look at the Pokemon of the first generation, them fuckers weren't all that kid friendly.
No. I know they're having to change how Jinx looks and a few others.
Jinx, Snorlax, let's see, because they felt like some of them were racially stereotypical and things like that. So basically, you know, with everything being changed and the things we do have, I gotta say for the first gym, which was Rourke, he did a good job as a rock type gym leader, but at the same time I would have rather seen something else than a rock type gym leader, because rock types had been done 3 seasons, I think it was 3 to 4 seasons straight. Yeah. Not all being a first gym leader, but let's see, for generations 1, 3, and 4, they were all first gym leaders were rock types. That would be Brock, Roxanne, no pun intended, her actual name is Roxanne, and Rourke. Secondly, the grass gyms are overdone, aka Gardenia, Erica, who else? Roman from Gen 6, and a bunch of other people who basically think, oh, well, grass types are so cool. No, you can defeat grass types easily.
Yeah, yes, you need an ice type, a flying type, a fire type. You can basically take them out with everything. They're not that hard.
I can agree on that. Okay, so when it comes to Maylene, which is a fighting gym, now fighting gyms have been done for every season. Even if it wasn't an official Pokemon fighting gym, it was still a fighting gym. Gen 1, you had the one where you can go into the gym and get a Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan. Second gen, you had, let's see, what was his name? Chuck or something?
Yeah.
Gen 3, the fighting gym was who? Oh, Broly. For Gen 4, our fighting gym is Maylene. Gen 5, I can't remember who the fighting gym was for Gen 5, because honestly, besides Reshiram, Zekrom, and a couple Pokemon, Gen 5 was one of the most horrible generations, and we'll get into that probably on tomorrow's video. But
Yeah.
Ash basically only lost to maybe one or two gym leaders this season for Gen 4.
True.
And he showed how he came along, how he knows a little bit more about Pokemon after being with Brock. And yes, Brock is on this season too. If they're gonna keep Ash, they're gonna keep Brock for a while. And it was a
Yeah.
it was a pretty good season. Due to the fact we're going to mention a female protagonist, Dawn. Dawn started off as a bumbling character, but slowly and surely made her way to the one of the fan favorites as a potential love interest for Ash.
Yeah.
And just as the joke was yesterday, Ash Ketchum has the most horrible name because his name is Ash Ketchum. Which, if anybody ever paid attention, you can make a billion jokes out of that one alone.
Oh
Hey, yo,
boy.
Ash, what's your last name? Ketchum? Catch them nuts, nigga.
That's awesome.
Or how about this one? Ash, Ketchum, catch what? Them titties she got sitting in her chest, nigga. As you can see, Ash's name is able to be made fun of constantly. Or how about this one? Ash, catch 'em. Catch what? All them fucking Pokemon you keep letting go. Catch their ass and refine them back to their Pokeballs and stop being a little kid. Grow up a little bit. I didn't get a laugh off of that one, but I know that one was still funny. And if we look, and after we dissect all the gym leaders, I'll probably say the top gym leader was the electric gym. Even though electric gyms had only been done, what, twice now? Well, 3 times if you count Generation 6. So, they need to stop using electric type gyms now. Along with rock type and along with fighting type. Because those 3 are so overdone. Along with grass type. They'll go to top 4 gyms that they need to switch out. You'll rarely see a fire gym. You see some psychic gyms.
True.
But I just feel like some of these types go unrecognized and some of these types need to have their gym. And so then there's not dead silence. Okay, so when we break down Ash's team in Sinnoh, we have Pikachu like always. Then we get Turtwig. Then we get Starly. Then we get who? I think it was Apom, but then he traded Apom for Weasel. Then we get Gligar, who soon evolves to Gliscor. And then our 6th Pokemon will be Chimchar. And Chimchar was the underdog for the season. Now everybody loves the underdog. I surely love Chimchar.
Mhm.
Because just like I would have done if I was doing an honest Pokemon trailer voice, this monkey's on fire. And his evolution, I gotta say they did well with the, design for his evolution. Because at the end he wears fire on the top of his head, which proves that all Chimchars are hot-headed.
True.
And if we look at the design for the other 2, Torterra and Empoleon, Torterra's design, you actually saw like how, he grew to having a big giant tree on his back. And you saw how well that the evolution, stuck well enough to the first form to where you could still see them in the faces. But when it comes to Empoleon now, Empoleon's a huge ass stretch for a 3rd evolution.
True.
Because think about it, Empoleon starts off as a penguin, who then gets a cross on his face, who gets an X on his face, because his beak and everything. And then you grow a crown out of your face, out of your beak. That has to be very painful to grow a crown out of your beak. And then wear it on your face. And then your fingers. Now, I gotta say, the design for him, for his penguin blade knife things, those are inventive. Those were inventive, but at the same time, the dual typing kind of, you know, took him out with Infernape just having to know fighting moves.
True.
As long as he knew fighting moves, he could take him down. Torterra could Mega Drain or Giga Drain him, and there you go. You're out of there. So there goes the most weakest starter for there. So Piplup / Empoleon, you guys are the weakest link. Goodbye. And then when we come to Torterra versus Infernape, Infernape takes the cake because he's a double advantage towards Torterra, because if he hits him with a fighting move, he's gonna damage that nice earthly base, and if he hits him with a fire move, he'll be able to burn down all the trees. Now, I fought someone who I'm friends with in Pokemon, and he got destroyed. Delphox versus Torterra. Torterra just used Earthquake, and it was over. Mainly because my friend doesn't know what he did, well, doesn't know what he's doing, and he just loves to talk shit and try to act like he is the shit. But, basically, I showed him, like, you know, it's easy to outthink you with it, because you're not really thinking.
Yes, that is very, very true.
And I kind of think that with this generation, they did the best with the starters, because Generation 1, the game-wise, Charizard couldn't even learn Fly in the first gen until they revamped it and brought it out for the 20th anniversary. The second one, you know, Cyndaquil will always have the first place for the fire type in my heart, because that was my very first actual starter for Johto. And I like Cyndaquil due to the fact of what he became, which was Typhlosion.
True.
Typhlosion is a beast-ass Pokemon.
True. But I honestly preferred Totodile myself.
I mean, Totodile was a good one. Feraligatr definitely, for sure, is a great Pokemon. I just feel like they could have done a little bit better with his design.
True.
Now, when you go to Meganium, Meganium's design is pretty good, because it goes from a Pokemon with just a leaf on his head to a Pokemon who now has a neck, to a Pokemon that now has a flower around his neck.
True.
So that kind of, you know, you can kind of see Chikorita in it, but kind of lose the sight of Chikorita in it. The closest to between Chikorita and Meganium is Bayleaf. That's the only time you're going to see them still look kind of similar.
True.
And now we're hopping back to Generation 4. We've touched on gym leaders. Candace is easy to go through. Bryson's easy to go through. Crasher Wake, Fantina, Gardenia. Everyone's easy to go through.
Big time.
Which leads me to the thing that Nintendo kind of needs to make it a little bit harder for the gyms. And now we're going to skip right past that, and we're going to talk about the main 3 legendaries for this generation, which were Dialga, Palkia, and Giratina. Now, everyone knows Dialga controls time, Palkia controls space, and Giratina controls the distortion world. Now, we call it the reverse world, but the actual name for it is the distortion world, because anything that happens on our side, like if a tree lost a leaf in our world, it technically gains a leaf in his.
Yes. And if you destroy something
in our world, something comes to life in his. So if we really look at it, the Rise of Darkrai showed you how Palkia and Dialga would act if they ever met, because they're not honestly ever supposed to be in the same place.
Yes.
Then you got a shot at Giratina, who basically was what? a Pokemon eating machine, basically, because he wanted to eat Dialga and Palkia, but of course Arceus banned him to the distortion world, so that's where he left him. We're not gonna get too far into it with that one. Just know Giratina is one awesome ass Pokemon due to the fact it is a giant centipede spear. Darkseid, what do you think about my comment of Giratina?
Honestly, I actually agree very, very much. Like, honestly, I think they could have actually done more too.
I honestly agree. Like, I like his design because his mouth like closes, which makes it like impenetrable. But at the same time, I need you guys at Nintendo to really think about it.
And honestly, what they're gonna do after Sun and Moon, because there's nothing left after that.
I mean, as long as they come out with some type of idea, they don't actually have to follow all Japanese mythology or anything. They could
They
probably
don't.
right. They could use Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology.
Actually, I know they done Hebrew and a lot of others too. They don't just they haven't done Japanese in a long time.
Well, which ones are Hebrew mythology?
Groudon and Kyogre.
Ah, okay. So now I just learned something new.
Yeah, they yeah, those were Hebrew and like I don't remember where the other ones were from.
And like, okay, so now we're gonna get to talking about the Elite Four for this one. The Elite Four for this one was pretty good because Cynthia was one badass dragon trainer, but of course the dragon champion is overdone like always.
Yeah.
But this is where the twist comes in because she doesn't have just pure dragon types, but a dragon type is her top contender.
Yes.
And we're talking about everybody's favorite scissor hand, well, scythe-handed friend, Garchomp.
Yes.
And to tell you the truth, Cynthia is one cool-ass looking champion. And the fan drawn pictures I've seen of her, all I can say is,
Honestly, you haven't seen the drawings of her and her Garchomp doing the nasty nasty.
hey, we're gonna keep it clean on this one. We're not gonna get into the nasty. We're gonna keep this one clean because we're just trying to re-record this one because, unfortunately, our friend Darkseid here messed up our recording earlier. Yes, that's right. You messed it up, so you earned the title Squeaky Puff Jr. for the next 20 minutes.
Hey, that was not my fault.
It was too your fault.
I did not know that my PS Vita was not doing the share voice.
Well, you should have known. You should have checked your settings before you came in, because then we wouldn't have to re-record this. But it's alright because we're having a little fun with it. Let's see, what's next?
Uh,
Basically, we've covered most of the story-wise, but when it comes to now let's talk Pokemon designs. We're gonna get off the starters and we're gonna go to the
oh
start.
my
We're gonna go
God.
for. I'm gonna talk about Starly because Starly's design was. I feel like they kind of cheated us for that.
No, what about the freaking snow cone?
That's for another generation, but I kind of feel like they kind of cheated us for Starly's evolution because one, you evolve into a bird with a curl like Superman, and then the next one you have a mohawk or a faux hawk. Like, I kind of think that was a kick in the balls to us.
It's more than just kicking the balls. I mean, they were like super. Nintendo, y'all have gotten super lazy with y'all's designs, and y'all refuse to use fan-made designs of Pokemon. I don't know why y'all keep refusing. Y'all need to just start doing them. Like, hell, I know a lot of people would be psyched just to have them done. They don't care about money. They would just love just to have their design and get some credit for the creation. You don't have. It doesn't have to be about money.
Well, think about this. Nintendo's a billion-dollar industry, and they can afford to buy a couple designs.
Yeah, they could too. Like hell, if they bought a design and was going to pay me $1,000 just for a drawing, I mean hell.
Well, I mean, if you
It's a
held on to the
drawing.
royalties, they would have to pay you for the royalties for it, as long as you got the design copywritten. But if you sold it to them and the rights to it, then, you know, it's up to them then. It's kind of
What to
like
do
the
with it.
whole, and I hate to get off the topic of Pokemon, it's kind of like the whole Saban and Power Rangers thing, because Saban sold Power Rangers to Disney Channel, and once Disney Channel fucked Power Rangers up and made them lose most of their audience, then Saban bought it back, and he's trying to, or they're, because I think that's the brand, Saban, they're trying to get Power Rangers to a good standard, so, you know,
So
it's
that's
like
why Power Rangers started showing up on
Nickelodeon and everything. Saban had made a contract with Nickelodeon to where they would show their seasons and everything, but at the same time, with the funding being cut, they cut it down to where it's like each one has to be at least from I think 60 or 40 episodes. They got to cut them in half, leaving it either 30 or 22. Not really sure, but you know, that's just an example of how, you know, Pokemon might have done for anything, or how Power Rangers did for something. And, you know, so they're gonna make that 2017 Power Rangers movie, and I'm not gonna lie, me being a huge fan when I was a kid and still watching to see how they're fucking up my old childhood with the new stuff, I'm gonna go watch it just so then I can come onto YouTube and tell everyone whether or not it's worth the money.
True. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I still watch the shows, and I know whenever Disney owned it, they had some that were good and some that were terrible.
Yeah, like there's one guy who does History of Power Rangers. He said Operation Overdrive's the worst one. When honestly, I think Samurai was the worst one.
I agree with the Samurai one. Samurai was fucking terrible. Now, RPMs,
RPM was
actually,
more.
I, I
Eh,
actually I kind of liked it.
I really
They were in an
didn't.
alternate universe. Uh, yeah, they had cars again,
No, it's not
and
even the
basic.
cars thing. It's basically that they built a giant fucking totem pole for a Megazord.
True.
And
I'm not gonna
you,
lie, that
hold
was
on, I'll be right back. I gotta go answer the door. You get back to the topic of Pokemon while we're at it, and I'll come right back in and you'll just remind me. So I'll be right back.
alrighty. Let's see. Now we all know that they've gotten lazy as hell with their drawings. I mean, we've seen some of their designs, and we're like, what the fuck is this? Why the hell did they make an ice cream cone? Now it's a double ice cream cone. Now it's a huge ice cream cone with sprinkles. I mean, come on, Pokemon, Nintendo. What? Seriously. Like, I know I know every now and then they have some badass designs, and then other than that, it's just, oh, okay. Let's make one with a trash bag with a hole in the side to where it looks like it has arms.
You're talking about Trubbish, but you're also getting off of the subject of the current generation that we're talking about.
I know, I was just speaking of designs in period. And I was just
Ah,
using Trubbish as an example. Because, come
Trubbish
on,
is
seriously.
Trubbish.
Yes, a freaking trash bag. Really?
Hey, it actually worked because it goes to show, you know, how humanity pollutes the world or whatever.
They already have that
And
note. Grimer and Muck,
well,
which is
Grimer
cum spelled
was shit that
backwards.
got struck by lightning and brought to life. That wasn't really showing how we pollute the world. That was just toxic sludge that came to life on an island, blah blah blah. But to get back to what I'm saying, I honestly think, What's up, viewer? If you can, do me a favor, push that like button and subscribe, and you'll possibly get a protein froakie if you have the game of Pokemon. X or Y or Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire. But to be completely honest with you, I don't think that they ran out of designs. I just kind of think they were kind of lazy, and because they did announce that Pokebank can hold what, up to 3,000 Pokemon.
Yes.
The fact that you can hold up to 3,000 Pokemon means that they gotta go past Generation 7.
Yes.
So there's definitely going to be Generation 8, possibly Generation 9.
And further.
And further, until they decide, well, you know, we're finally out of stuff. Like, they haven't even used every color of the rainbow. They haven't used every type of gem. They haven't used every type of stone. Because if that was the case, they would have had Pokemon Topaz, Pokemon Pink. You get where I'm going with that?
Yeah.
Pokemon Rainbow.
Oh God, no. Taste the rainbow in Pokemon Rainbow. It's
Alright.
fabulous.
No, I'm not talking about gay-wise. Secondly, that's kind of offensive because I have gay friends, so you can't really use that one.
Hey, my brother's gay, so I can say it if I want to.
No, you can't. Only your brother can do it. My whole point is, like, they still can use colors. They can still use letters. Like, what happened to Pokemon A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X. Oh, well, we already have X. All the way to Pokemon W. Pokemon A through W. What happened to those? I know. They don't exist yet.
Well,
Or better yet, they're unknown.
Oh God. Somebody did a fan version of Unknown version where it's just like Unknown shows up on the title box.
My whole thing is, like, I believe Pokemon still has a nice variety of things that they can do. I mean, hell, they even went ahead and started doing Pokemon games where you play as the actual Pokemon, which I gotta say are fucking horrible games.
Actually, what those games are, those are actually for people that are under 10 that can't actually understand the concept of the Pokemon games. Basically, it's to introduce them to Pokemon and have them play as a Pokemon before they actually play the versions. I've actually had that one explained to me.
Well, that's a good theory, but all I'm saying is, those games are horrible.
It's not actually a theory. It's actually what was actually told to me by someone who actually works for GameStop, and they were talking, and it was one of the managers where they actually talked with the people in Nintendo, and so I actually had a store manager at GameStop that actually talked to Nintendo, tell me that that's what Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is. It's basically to introduce younger children to it.
Okay. Well,
because, like,
here's my thought on Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, though. Like, why?
I actually thought it was kind of neat at first. I mean, when they had the little television, when they had those few episodes to actually introduce the game, I actually liked those shows. They were actually really neat. I wish they would have kept those going because that was actually.
I mean, they have kept Mystery Dungeon going, but
the show?
No, I'm talking about the games. Like the show, I think are only airing in Japan, and we're not getting those. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that one. But my main thing with Mystery Dungeon, I played it, and I got pissed off when I got Squirtle to 16, thought Squirtle was going to evolve, and Squirtle stayed a Squirtle, and then I looked it up on the internet, and Squirtle can only evolve to Blastoise once you beat the game.
True.
That's idiotic.
you can't evolve until you beat the game.
Idiotic.
And that's if you get a Pokemon that evolves.
Because you have to freaking do a survey before you even start the game.
And the survey depends on what kind of Pokemon you turn into.
Exactly, I turned into a freaking Pikachu. Now, I knew I wasn't going to evolve, but, you know, I thought I'd find a stone, use it on myself, and then I evolved. But, hey, it didn't work out that way. I traded in the game the very next day. Mystery Dungeon in my book of Pokemon games is an F. An F for fuck up.
Well, you can't actually call it that because, I mean, there's more to it. I mean, I actually kind of enjoyed it. I mean, I actually got bored with it quickly, but still, it was actually pretty good.
I mean, I got bored with it, and like I said, I traded in the next day. I fought Zapdos, Articuno, and Moltres the first day I got the game. Got them to be on my team, but couldn't figure out how the hell to get them to my party or whatever, and then it hit me. It's lame. Why are you still playing? I know. I'll go trade it in. So, what I did, I put the game back in the thing. I switched games with my cousin because he bought Blue Rescue Team and I bought Blue Rescue Team. He hadn't played his yet. I cleared the data. I put it back in the case. I switched games and then I took it back and got my money back.
Got a full refund, huh?
Yep. And then proceeded to go on to buy Zoe's Battle Legends for GameCube.
No, that game is badass.
Yes, especially if you knew the code to get Liger Zero Phoenix.
There was actually a code. I actually paid for them.
Zero Phoenix?
Yes, like, if you played the game enough,
you
could actually use the money in the game to actually buy that Zoid.
I know, but see, my Zoids were Liger Zero Phoenix, Diablo Tiger Beta and Alpha, the Rhino looking one, the Cyclops 1 and 2, let's see, I had a bunch of them. I had the entire Liger Zero line.
I had all of them. I had all of them, and not just the Liger Zero line. I literally got them all.
Well, it was only so much that I was willing to customize, and I ended up shutting down like a lot of people. But I'll put it like this. Back to the topic of Pokemon. Pokemon has so much potential that they can do, but they just waste it. Like coughing. Everyone knows what the next evolution of coughing should honestly be, and that's choking. Just like the fan design. I know it's a fan design, but please, Nintendo, buy it. Incorporate it. King's Rock to a wheezing, trade it back, and boom, it's a choking.
Honestly, I have not seen that design.
You haven't seen the design?
No, I have not.
It looks pretty good. Just picture a king coughing, like a coughing with a crown on his head, his tongue out his mouth, and it's like smoke coming out the sides.
Okay, that actually sounds badass.
And his ability would be levitate still. But although they could have created an ability where like status conditions don't affect them or something, now that would be a good ability to see how people would, you know, do if status conditions could mess with that Pokemon.
True.
And let's see what's next. So like I saw a bunch of designs for like Mega Evolution Pokemon, and like people are saying like Rapidash get a Mega Evolution. No, I'd rather Rapidash get a regular evolution before giving him a Mega Evolution.
Yes.
Because everyone knows what he should be. He should be a freaking unicorn.
Oh god.
And actually Rapidash is a unicorn, so he should be a Pegasus.
Oh, you mean one of those Pegasus unicorn things like?
Yes, ones with the wings. I think he should become a fire flying type, like frickin' Talonflame.
Yes, I could actually see that, and that would be pretty badass.
Because if we go back to season 1 and look at how Ash and old girl's Ponyta got along, it didn't like him at first. When she convinced him to let him ride, Ash treated Ponyta like he would any of his other Pokemon. And honestly, his friendship is what made it evolve.
Yes.
Like, how do you befriend someone else's Pokemon and make them evolve? Like, you don't own a ball to it or nothing.
Ash gets freaky with a Pokemon.
Nah, I'd rather he get freaky with Misty, May, and Dawn. Oh, and Serena.
Oh, you know that they're waiting to you already know there's going to be an episode where Ash is going to be like that other gym leader, where going to be like how Gary was when he first started his journey.
Oh yeah,
He's
Gary,
harem.
he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. I bet off screen he's like, alright, all you line up so you can blow me.
Yep. Basically, Ash is going to be the next person with the frickin' harem and a group of cheerleaders.
But he won't be as cocky as Gary was.
No, and he'll still suck.
Well, I wouldn't say he'll suck because Gary didn't really lose until his battle against Giovanni, which means he basically he was more than a competent trainer.
Yeah, which I think is like honestly, if Ash would have actually fought Giovanni instead of Jesse and James, he wouldn't have gotten that badge.
No, I think he would have got the badge, but at the same time, I'll put it like this: Giovanni, if he didn't use Mewtwo, Gary probably would have won.
Oh, he used Mewtwo against him, huh?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Like, he used 2 of his own Pokemon. He's like, there's one more Pokemon I would like you to battle. So when the person decided, well, when Gary was like, alright, bring him on. And Giovanni was like, you know what, even ignore the Pokemon rules. I'll let you use 2 Pokemon against my one. He sent out Nidoking and Arcanine, and basically Mewtwo flexed both of them like he was working out in the gym.
Oh yeah, that's right, I remember that.
And then the girls were all crying, I can't believe Gary lost. Yes, Gary lost because he's fighting Pokemon on steroids.
Yeah, honestly, Mewtwo is one of the strongest, although he's not necessarily anymore because they nerfed him.
Well, everyone needs a nerf every once in a while. My favorite football was a nerf. My main point to this is, though, no matter how strong these legendary Pokemon are, when the people get a hold of them, use them, it kind of takes the excitement away. Like Tobias versus Ash, it was the most exciting one, even though Tobias used nothing but legendary Pokemon.
Yes.
But that goes to show you what Ash Ketchum's strength actually is sitting at. And I know everyone's gonna bring up the thing, yo, Black, what about when his Pikachu gets reset? Here's my thought on that. Oh my god. Who the hell cares?
Yep.
His Pikachu gets reset for a reason.
Hell, it's not even that he gets reset, it's how the writers fucking want it.
Right, they do a reset because if you look at Pokemon Black and White and everyone's talking about how Ash's Pikachu lost to Trip Snivy because he couldn't use a Yep.
True.
And no, that doesn't really count as an ass whooping. Writers.
Son of a bitch.
That too, but basically if everybody looks at, like, watch the Japanese seasons and you'll see exactly how well they do stuff. Like, Ash isn't even Ash in Japan. His name is Satoshi.
Yep.
So if his name is Satoshi, what the hell is wrong with you people? And to tell you the truth, basically that's another reference to Red because his name is Ash. And from fire comes ash. Anybody putting two to two
Or,
together? I
or
got
would
a
other people
theory.
like
Red's
a
actually
game
Ash's
theory?
daddy. How y'all
A
like them
game.
apples?
I mean, who know? Well, considering how Red played, that could be a possibility. But honestly, it's already basically proven. Uh,
That is two different
Silver,
universes.
you are the father.
I still can't believe the whole Silver thing. I think maybe, you know, even though there's tendencies and things like that, I kind of think maybe we'll find out who Ash's father is later on. Silver's too fucking old.
He's
Delia's,
not. He's actually.
yes he is. His hair is too damn gray and his face is too fucking old. Professor Oak is not Ash's daddy neither. Silver's not his daddy, and Red's not his daddy. Because one,
Well, the only.
nobody's hair turns that gray in frickin' 1 year. Obama don't count. Obama's hair is due to stress.
Well, who's to say that it couldn't be from the stress of him living alone and he's on a journey?
Because otherwise Ash would have had gray hair by now.
They ain't gonna do that to Ash.
Why not?
Now, and
Like daddy, like son.
true, but
If anything, Silver singing
Silver
this.
isn't.
If anything, Silver singing this. Ash, I'm not your daddy, I'm your grandpa.
Oh Lord. But actually, thing is, Silver isn't actually that old. He's actually in his 30s. And
Which,
it is possible to have gray hair when you're in your 30s.
I know, my dad had gray hairs growing in when he was in his 30s, and I was like in diapers. But here's my theory for Ash's father. Nobody knows who he is. We're not gonna know until the writers finally decide to stop being a bunch of beef weeds and put him in there.
Good.
Like, that's all they gotta do is put him in there. Ash meets up with his dad, has a very, very intense battle where his dad kicks his butt, and he tells him, Ash, you've grown a lot, but you still have a lot to learn. I know, Dad. That's why I'm out on this journey. And we're getting close to our hour mark, so we're gonna wrap it up in about 10 minutes. But here's our final thoughts on this. Generation 4 so far is the best generation. Due to the character designs, character development, starters, Elite Four, and etc.
True.
We will jump into the worst season of Pokemon within our very next episode when we talk about Pokemon Black and White. We'll touch on it right now, but as of talking about the season as a whole, fuck it. We can honestly talk about it now and get it done within 10 minutes. So here's my problem with the season for not X and Y, but the season for Black and White. One, you have a legendary Pokemon flying around in the beginning when he's supposed to be confined to the dark orb because he used up all his energy in the fight with his other half years ago.
Mr. Whitey Whitey.
Hey, don't make fun of Reshiram. He's my favorite of that generation. But when we get to their starters, this is where it actually gets interesting with the starters. A giant fighting otter, Samurott. Delwat, Oshawott. Oshawott, Delwat, Samurott.
Yep.
A giant fighting piece of bacon. And not just any bacon. This bacon's on fire.
Oh,
Embor.
yeah, the flaming pig.
Exactly. He's his own fucking luau. When he dies, you don't even have to roast the meat. Just chop it off his bones. He's already cooked to perfection. He starts off as Tet Pig. He starts off as a Tet Pig, then becomes Pig Knight, which is a freaking wrestler.
And then Pig Nor.
Then when we get to the grass starter, which happens to be the best starter for this season, which is Snivy, a grass snake, which is kind of stupid, but at the same time inventive, because you see how it becomes a full-blown snake. It starts off with arms and legs. It loses the arms first, then it loses the legs, and it becomes a giant snake called Superior. It goes Snivy, Servine, Superior, and Superior with his hidden ability, Contrary. You literally can't do anything to this Pokemon without raising his stats. You can't use anything that lower stats because Contrary does the opposite. You raise his stats instead.
Yes.
So there you go with that. They actually had a good design for that one. Now I honestly think when it came to designs for gym leaders, now Ash is traveling with another gym leader, actually two. The bitch I hate the worst, and Silent. Now Silent happens to be what you call a Pokemon connoisseur, but quickly changes his mind on exactly what the fuck he is, because he's not just a Pokemon connoisseur. He's a train connoisseur. He's a food connoisseur. He's so much shit that he doesn't even know what the fuck he is anymore.
True.
And then we get to Iris, the very first black girl ever added into the Pokemon series to be alongside the main protagonist.
And she's stupid as hell.
One question. Why? Why to the why to the why would y'all do Iris so bogus? She could have been something amazing, but no. Instead, you guys make her a laughing stock. Think about it like this. Iris has a Pokemon that will not listen to her. Excadrill. She has a lot of things that I would rather say is just kinda stupid. Like, she has a Axew, which, by the name, I prefer the Japanese name, which is Kabago. She has Axew. Now, she's supposed to be training to be a Dragon Master. You can't be a Dragon Master without a Dragon Pokemon. And I mean a fully evolved Dragon Pokemon. Or at least a Dragon Pokemon that's competent. You can't call a fight against Team Rocket competent. And you know why you can't call a fight against Team Rocket competent? They're not competent. And here's where it actually gets funny, because in Black and White, they become a little competent. Instead of blasting off, they're flying away on rocket packs. Instead of comic relief, they have serious things to do until you get to the end of Black and White and they're back to comic relief. Makers of Pokemon, I ask you now, fuck is wrong with you people? When I ask fuck is wrong with you people, it's for one reason. You literally take Jesse and James and Meowth, make them competent, and then once they're done with that little story arc they had where Giovanni meets Ash and he actually damn near kills them, they're back to being people who aren't that important. Team Rocket has never been important to the Pokemon world. And then, you know, as you go along, you get like, you know, you finally wonder when the hell are you going to see the real bad guys of this generation? And you finally see them. Team Plasma, but they're not the regular Team Plasma that you saw in Pokemon Black and White. No, they're the ones from the game Black and White 2. Their leader ran away because he didn't like the way that they were treating Pokemon, and he was thinking about going out into the world and trying to figure out a bunch of other things. His story even got twisted and basically made no sense. But it's like this. I honestly think maybe they could have done better.
Yes, they could.
I really think that they should have done better. Reshiram was the highlight of that season due to the fact he actually stayed consistent with the storyline. Now, instead of them showing their third legendary, which was Kyurem, they showed their fourth one, which was Meloetta. No, scratch that, they showed their fifth one, which was Meloetta, because Victini was fourth.
Yes.
Now, I gotta say, Meloetta didn't really annoy me. She was an okay Pokemon. I just wish they would have done something with her more than just have her follow them in secret.
Yeah.
This is not a Drake video. If it was a secret, how long could you keep it? Keep it to yourself. Don't tell nobody else. She gon' follow you on YouTube. No. No. Makers of Pokemon, please do better. Now, Reshiram being a dragon fire type, interesting because that's the first typing of that sort that I actually saw, fire dragon. And his final move is awesome as hell. His final move is called Fusion Flare, or if you get him to 100, Blue Flare. And what does that tell you about Reshiram? Because honestly, the next video I make is going to be called Pokemon Genders, aka Legendary Pokemon. Heck, I still have 9 minutes, so I can get into that one. Every legendary Pokemon has a gender, and every legendary Pokemon is classified between boy or girl.
Yes.
Including Mewtwo.
Yep.
If we start from everyone, here are the genders for Gen 1. Zapdos, male. Articuno, female. Moltres, female. Mew, female. The very first Mewtwo we saw, if you call the one canon from the movie, male. The other one we saw was female. Let's see, we head to Gen 2, Ho-Oh, male. Lugia, female. Only because you saw Lugia with a baby Lugia, and they said that that was baby Lugia's mother. Coincidence, slip up, or truth?
You decide.
Like Smokey the Bear, only you decide the truth.
I thought it was only you can prevent forest fires.
You know what I mean. Don't make me throw a brick at you. Next generation. Alright, next 3. Entei, Raikou, Suicune. Suicune, woman. Other 2, male. Celebi, little girl. Next generation. Groudon, male. Kyogre, female. Rayquaza, 100% man. He even has the dragon fangs to show you. Can a Rayquaza be a female? Yes. The one from the Hoopa movie was a female, to be honest with you. She was a lot more petite, and her face blades did not pop out as much when she mega evolved. Secondly, Latios, Latias. It even says so, and they even have genders.
The pink one is female, the blue one is male.
Even though technically Latias is red. Then we go to the legendary Jirachi. Jirachi is a little boy. Next generation. Reshiram, female. Zekrom, male. Kyurem, male. Virizion, female. Cobalion, male. Terrakion, male. Meloetta, female. It even says so in the name, Meloetta. Genesect is an artificially created dildo. That's all I know about it.
Well, technically, it could
be male or female.
In the movies, there was a male and there was a female.
So it has a gender slice down the middle. Heatran, because I forgot to mention Heatran and Cresselia and Darkrai. Darkrai is a male, Cresselia is a female. Heatran has a gender split. Euxley, Alzilf, and Mesphyrus are all female. None of them even look remotely manly.
Yes.
Let's see, when we go to Q-Rim, we all know that that's a guy. We all know that I just mentioned Zekrom and Reshiram, male and female, Reshiram being female, Zekrom being male. And if you want, I'll even post it on my, I'll even probably try to change that to my background for my, game, but most likely I won't be able to, because I don't know how, and I'm not going to spend all my time trying to figure it out. I have 5 minutes left to finish the count for which ones. Now we head into Generation 6. Yveltal is a man, Xerneas is a woman, Deonce, female, Volcanian, male, Hoopa is a mischievous little boy who just needs a belt to his ass.
True.
Am I forgetting anyone from that generation? Oh, Zygarde. Zygarde is undecided because Zygarde is a snake and we don't know whether he's hiding a pole or hiding a hole.
Well,
or it could be genderless like Rotom. That's the only Pokemon that actually does not have a gender is Rotom.
Ditto.
Ditto is in the legendary.
Whatever.
Ditto's a rapist,
Yeah,
okay?
True. Ditto is whatever you want me to be.
Exactly, he's a one-night stand. Multiple times. Let's see, that would be everyone from all the generations. If I missed anything, please leave a comment down below and I will specify on the gender for those. And look, I stay within my time range because I have 3 minutes. Basically, I give Pokemon Black and White anime an F due to the fact of so many plot holes, so many things wrong with Iris, so many things wrong with Silent, and the fact that Ash let Iris embarrass the hell out of him multiple times.
I just got sniped.
The next thing I have to say is we will be reviewing Pokemon X and Y series, but I'd rather wait until the whole series is done before I tear it apart.
Yes.
So this will be all because we've caught up to every single region.
Damn.
From the Kanto to the Orange Islands to Johto to Hoenn to Sinnoh to Unova. Now, if anybody gets the joke about the Hoenn region, that's where all the hoes stay at, in the Hoenn region, because that's all they're doing there is hoeing. They're hoeing around out there.
Raging fast and I'm homebound. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Just remember, viewers, please subscribe and click those like buttons, and I do respond to you guys if you leave me comments on my YouTube page. You can ask me anything having to do with Pokemon, or you can even ask me anything having to do with this game, because I beat this game like it was a runaway slave. And you're not imagining, because if you've been watching the video from the get-go, you will see nothing but Bulma's tits, and they are animated and nice. You see the bare nipple, they did a real good job on designing this graphics for this game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they did.
And all I can say is I had one hell of a time playing it, and we're almost out of time with 60 seconds left. I'm your boy Lord Black, aka Black Joker 46, sitting beside my boy Darkside. And because he made me mad earlier, aka Squeaky Puff Jr. You're
Oh, you.
Sorry, I only screw women. So I just want to thank everyone for coming to the page. I want to thank you all for likes. No likes, I want to thank you for the views. Please spread the videos around. Please tell me what you think of them. And if you actually want to see what I actually look like, I have videos of me doing for when I was going to do Digimon World 4, but unfortunately all my recording equipment fell through, so I couldn't. With 10 seconds left, this is your boy saying, I'm out like fat bitches and dodgeball. Holla at you later.